everybody. How are you enjoying the convention so far? You can do a little bit better than that. How are you enjoying the convention so far? Alright, that's better. So, do we have anybody in the audience that has heard of a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel of the Series? Anybody here fans of Torchwood? Anybody here watch a little show called Smallville? Anybody here like me miss Caprica? It's getting smaller. Hawaii Five-0, anybody watch that? All right, who here is a fan of PopCultureZoo.com? My family, I paid them to be here. Anyway, all those shows I mentioned, the guy that's going to come out on stage here right now has been in all of those and played probably your favorite characters. He doesn't need any introduction. James Marsters.
I was at the very first Star Trek convention in 1978 in Oakland, California. And I gotta tell you, we just get more interesting as the years go by. We're still the cool ones. You said have a seat. Okay.
We're gonna grill him.
Make it special, man.
Can you see in the back? So to start off with, you've lived in Seattle before.
Yeah, I lived here for 6 years. In fact, I had a theater company about 4 blocks from here on 2nd and Main. Back then, that's where all the crack dealers were. No, I came to have respect for crack dealers. I found out that they're the intelligent ones. Like, the unintelligent ones, they just roll people at night. You know, but the smart ones, they're businessmen. So I would go to them and say, look, I won't call the cops on you, but just vacate the streets between 7:30 and 8, and between 10 and 10:30. And then we have a peace deal. And they were like, okay, cool.
Oh, very cool.
Good. Yeah.
Did they bring any audience in for you?
No.
So that group was the New Mercury Theater, which you guys kind of took and expanded on from Orson Welles.
Actually, no. It wasn't. I didn't name the theater. The Mercury Theater, you're right. Wells had a Mercury Theater.
Right.
But I named my theater after a theater in Brighton, England, that was got formed right after World War II. And the question was, England is bombed into rubble now. And how do we reawaken? How do we rebuild England? What are we great at? And the writer said, well, we have Shakespeare. So there was a real movement to reawaken verse in modern England. And so they had writers like Christopher Fry, who else? Dylan Thomas. And they would perform in bombed out churches, and people would be being rained on, and they would still show up, at this bombed out church to see some theater, and I thought that was just awesome. So I actually named it after that company. Yeah.
So here's the one I want to know. Blonde, British, and a vampire. You're none of those three. So how did it happen that you became Spike?
Now.
So how do you end up playing that? I mean, was the character of Spike set as that when you went into the audition?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. They wanted him to be I was told the Sid Vicious of the vampire set. And I was like, no, you don't want Sid Vicious. Like, this is Sid Vicious.
Girls like me because I've got a great face, I've got a good figure.
That's Sid. Sid is useless. They were going to kick him out of the band. He couldn't even play bass. And I was like, Josh, you want Johnny Rotten, man. Please tell me. So I was a Johnny Lydon of the vampire set. What was the question?
How did you end up being something that you very much weren't?
Well, because inside I'm just like that.
Okay.
I'm as nasty as you want me.
I think about 5 people just fainted.
Oh, I'm willing to do weird stuff and get out of my comfort zone and do things that other people don't do. And so that's very much like Spike. And then you just, let them do my hair, and I'm a stage actor, so you just put on a Cockney accent on it, and here we go.
Perfect. Was it true that on the musical episode they actually asked you to sing your song with a British accent? Because even the British people don't sing with a British accent. But yet you could tell you were doing Spike's voice when you were singing.
I guess that's the give. I guess that's how you can tell that I'm not really British, because I sound British when I sing. I'm also careful with the script. Oh, that's a vowel substitution on that line. Yeah, well, that's a give then. Then that's a mistake. I should have sounded American.
Like you were from Texas or something.
The Beatles hated that question.
Did they?
Oh, yeah. And why do you sound American when you sing? Because we grew up listening to American rock records. They couldn't say that.
I'm glad I could ask you something you didn't like. So you played Spike for 7 years between 2 shows. What is it like when you don't play that role anymore? I mean, were you ready to be done, or was it tough to let go?
Wow. That's a hard question, actually. The truth is that okay, in film, you might have to do a really weird thing. You might have to do something that scares you, or something that you're not even prepared to do. And if you read a script in film and you're not prepared to do that in front of a camera, you call your agent and you say, "I pass." In television, you're contractually obligated to do anything that they tell you to do for 7 years. But the safety is that you're basically telling the same story over and over every week, so there's no real danger.
Right.
But on Buffy, you had no idea what they were going to ask you to do. And I came to a point where I realized that I was on call 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. I had to wear or not wear whatever they said, and do whatever they said to whoever they said to do it. And at some point, that became terrifying. Seriously. For me, filming Buffy was an exercise in terror. That's so funny. No, this is really true. So when Buffy came down, it was a relief as a person. But as an artist, I realized, man, that as an artist, you want to be terrified. You don't want to be in your comfort zone. And so as an artist, it was very hard to give up. As a human being, it was a huge relief.
Is it, during that 7 years, is it hard to go do something else because you inhabit that character and everybody knows you as that character, or were you able to get gigs and things?
No, there's just no time. People who are on television series and rush out during the summer to make a movie usually pick any movie that's filming in the summer, and it turns out to be junk. So the best thing to do is just concentrate on that role, and when the role's done, find another role.
Gotcha. So most of the roles that everyone in this room know you for, they've been characters where you come into a show that is already established, and you kind of make your stamp on it. However, on Hawaii Five-0, you've kind of been there from the beginning, and you sort of kickstarted the mythology of the show, even though you've only been in 2 episodes. Was that kind of fun to get to come in and be there at the beginning?
Oh, yeah. Shoot McGarrett's dad in the face. Take that, Alex. Yeah, it's wonderful to be there in the beginning and to be put into the center of how the machine operates. Hawaii Five-0 is a hard show to shoot though, because Alex is a certified stunt coordinator in Australia, so he knows his moves, and he is a rock. You hit him, and it's like hitting a wall. It's so bad. He's so tough. He's such a nice guy, but he just don't fight Alex, man. Twice I came back with broken bones, both times. And yeah, because the thing is, on Buffy, we were all, like, my fight partner is well within distance, and we're just punching air, right? On Hawaii Five-0, it's all grappling and tight moves and flipping over and stuff. And I remember being in the hotel, beautiful hotel that they put you up in Hawaii, by the way. And I'm just cacked out on the lounge chair, and my girlfriend is putting ice all over my body, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Are we going to see him anymore this year on Hawaii Five?
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, if that new Woe Fat sucks, then you'll see me a lot more. Does he suck, or is he good? But he's okay?
It's all right.
No, he has to really suck.
Well,
Nice guy, though. I hope he does well.
If he gets, if he gets bad enough, they have to kill him off, and there you go.
No, because I kicked Alex in the balls last time. I was like, oh, I'm fired. I'm so fired. I kicked Alex in the balls. But it was tight, man. I was on the ground. We had 3 minutes to do the last episode. We were losing light. And so we had literally 3 minutes to film both the stunts doing it and the lead. So the stunts got 90 seconds, and Alex and I got 90 seconds. So it was really, really rushed. And in all of that, I tagged him.
You don't want to do that to the lead.
No. Generally, you want to avoid that one. Yeah.
So the other thing I read about you doing recently is a show for Sci-Fi, 3 Inches. Is that true? Has that been done as a pilot and maybe a series, or where is that?
Yeah, that's where we are.
Okay.
It's a pilot and maybe a series. It's an extended maybe. They still don't know.
Okay, and that's been shot, but we don't know when it's going to air.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was really fun. I mean, I think it's a great idea. The idea being that you don't have to fly to be a superhero. That the lead can move any object, but you can only move it 3 inches away. But my character is an ex-CIA guy, and he's like, you know what? We could have used you in Afghanistan, man. You can get through any lock that we want to go through. So you don't need to have, you don't have to punch anybody. Just move something 3 inches. We could use that very well. I play an ex-CIA guy who's now a good guy.
CIA's not a good guy.
No, I play a guy who used to be very bad and is now kind of good, which is kind of Humphrey Bogart and stuff. I love that.
Well, and it's good to see you, do a good guy. I mean, you've done the gamut from Ted Bundy to Buzz Aldrin, which is pretty amazing. I mean, when you look for roles, what do you look for? I mean, playing that range.
I look for something that I'm not sure I can do. Look for something that I want to watch. When I read a script, if I think, wow, I can't wait to see this, then that's something that I want to do.
Cool.
Yeah, I remember going into the audition for Moonshot for Buzz Aldrin, and we were just talking. I never read the script, and finally I was kind of bored with the conversation. I was like, man, do you want to talk about subatomic particle physics or astronomy, astrology? I mean, we're in the golden age of subatomic particle physics. We're in the golden age of astronomy. Let's talk about this stuff. And the producers were like, well, we just did a documentary about subatomic particle physics, but okay. And I schooled them. Because I just read Bill Bryson's book, The Short History of Nearly Everything, and it gives a really pretty cogent idea about what that is, about subatomic particle physics. And I got the role without reading the script, because I was talking about, because Buzz is a genius, and he saved NASA like 3 times. He saved it because, like, when they did the first spacewalk, Ed White, all he had to do was get out of the capsule, float around like a marionette, and go, gee whizzers, this is great! And they pulled him back, and that was a stunning success. And everyone thought, okay, he didn't die, he didn't have a heart attack, and now we can think about this. But every spacewalk after that was a failure, because the guy would, your job is to tighten a bolt. Just see if you can do that. So the guy starts to tighten the bolt, and his whole body spins the opposite way, right? And so all of these spacewalks were just failing, until Buzz says, I'm a deep sea diver, and I get this idea where if you just weight my legs so that I don't rise in the water and I don't sink in the water, I'm neutral. My buoyancy is neutral. That's as close to space as we can get. We should train underwater. And he's the guy that came up with that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
He's also the only astronaut to help out with the complex mathematics of docking the lunar vehicle with the one that's orbiting, getting those ships back together was mathematically very difficult,
right.
And he actually helped with that. I mean, like the rest of the astronauts were like test pilots. They were there to know their buttons and be very brave and all of that. But Buzz just went way out of that and helped them with the science.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, so you're going to be doing a show tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that, right? Everybody's
I'm at the Hard Rock, so the sound system's going to be very good. It's going to be a good time.
So, what can everybody that's going to be there look forward to tomorrow night?
I don't do covers, or if I'm going to do a cover, it'll be one cover, but the rest of it is really me. And you may have seen me perform other people's words, but you've probably not seen me perform my words. And I think it's kind of interesting.
Am I going to get kicked out if I'm the one in the back with the flighter going, "Free bird"?
No, we won't kick you out, but we'll take your sign away.
Well, that's all I have for you. I assume there's people here that might want to ask James a question.
Yeah, guys, I like a little bit of danger, so ask me anything that you want. Anything. I will not necessarily answer anything, but it's fun to be a little bit dangerous.
I'm going to be the bad guy and remind everyone one question apiece, because a lot of people want to ask questions. So if you have more than one question, get back in line, and hopefully everybody can get their questions answered. Let's start right here.
Hi, James.
Hey, love.
There's a movie coming out soon called Cowboys versus Aliens. And when I saw the plot for that one, it kind of reminded me something, and I was wondering if it reminded you of anything.
Very much. In fact, I wanted them to call the thing "Cowboys versus Aliens." That was one of the titles, because I thought that our title wasn't that great. Yeah, and they said it was taken, and I didn't know why, and now I know why.
And just so everyone else knows, it was High Plains Invaders, I think was the name of it.
It's a nice bit of cheese. Yeah.
James said it was kind of fun.
It is fun. It's fun. Good cheese is fun.
Well, let's go over here.
If you have read any of the comic books, is there anything in the comic books that your character Spike, like the Buffy or Spike or Angel comic books, is there anything you wish you could have acted?
You know, I haven't read as many of the comic books as you might think. I had a bad experience. I wrote a comic book for Dark Horse called Spike and Drew. And I constructed it as the most twisted romance that I could think of. But in my mind, a romance has certain rules. Every genre has a different rule. And in romance, all the women have to want to kiss the male character, and all the males have to want to be the male character, and all the guys have to want to kiss the female character, and all the females have to want to be the female character. And that's how a romance works. But they drew it like Drusilla looked horrible, like and they messed it up. It would have been a much more effective story if they would have done what I told them. I'm sorry. I used to have a theater company, and people did exactly what I told them to do, and we had hit after hit after hit, and they messed it up. And furthermore, I had to go to Juliet Landau, who was one of my favorite people in the world, and explain to her why I created something that makes her look so much less beautiful than she is. And as an acting partner, that was a hard conversation. And I basically turned I'm very pensive that way. So I haven't read the comic books.
Over here.
So you were Spike, and Alex has actually been a vampire in a different series. Did any conversations come from that, or anything funny, or any stories or anything like that come from that?
Not so much. We talked a lot, mainly about our women. But no, not so much. A little bit about how all the extras want you to bite them. And how you really can't do that.